So, my friend Collin Hemmy was murdered by the Hawaiian syndicate. When this whole thing started with me, he wasn't very happy about it, being a pot dealer and knowing the syndicate and having dealings with them. He was pretty pissed off at me for pissing them off, and he started acting really strange. And after 10 years of being best friends, he pretty much just bailed and learned that he was, he told me he was dealing oxys and he had started doing heroin and poppies. Like I'd come over and he'd be doing fucking black tar heroin and offering me that. In fact, when my dogs died, he actually showed up at my house and told me to take an OxyContin. And I told him to go fuck himself because friends don't do that. Biggest thing that I've ever been through, one of them at least in my life, is putting both my dogs down 2 weeks apart, force feeding my young one, just because I couldn't handle putting them both down at the same time. And yeah, so they killed him, and it's supposed to be supposedly by intoxication of Xanax. That was supposedly what I heard was the cause of death, but talked to the guy that found him, talked to the guy that he was hanging out with, a man who never had a girlfriend. In 10 years I knew him, was suddenly dating some Hawaiian chick. You know, just a gut feeling that they had something to do with that. And, just people that, like, the guy that lives at 1414 Southeast Martin Street, being a heroin user, you should know that this is not going to end well for you. People like you and anybody that hangs out with people who are members of organized crime, who deal drugs and all that stuff, your death will most likely come from the hands of those people. Not the cops, not the feds, and definitely not me, but your friends, quote unquote, are going to be the ones that fucking take you out. So that's it. And I wish I had said something at the time, but nobody ever believed me about any of this shit anyways. Well, some people have, but, what am I going to do? Tell the family that the syndicate killed their son when I have no proof of that whatsoever? I wasn't even talking to him. I had stopped talking to him. He emailed me a month before he died. I didn't even open it because I knew I couldn't trust him, and I definitely didn't want to be around him. And it was sad. It was really sad, watching him go down that road. And yeah, so the Hawaiian Syndicate killed Collin Hemmy. I'm like super fucking sure of that shit. Yeah, you can just check things out whenever Hells Angels guys, especially motorcycle gang guys, get busted up here on the mainland. Anybody gets busted and then they're sitting there waiting for trial, or they get out and they're on probation or whatever, they always end up having like an overdose or commit suicide. I think that's pretty much bullshit, and I'm not sure why the feds don't really look into that. I'm starting to think the feds and the motorcycle guys have, I don't know, maybe they got something going on.